was wondering if you have any stock tips for any of the students. You know, we're all trying to make a little living.
I didn't think they taught that at Georgetown. The best investment I ever made, well, I bought a book in 1949 by a fellow named Ben Graham called The Intelligent Investor. I don't remember what I paid. But aside from what I paid for my 2 marriage licenses, that was the best investment I ever made. It's very important to have the right framework. You need to have an approach to investing that's sound. And Graham's approach is simple, but some people adopt to it, and which I did immediately, and most people don't. But if you have the right philosophy, you will find opportunities as you go through the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And frankly, you're most likely to find them when in periods like 5 years ago when we were having the panic. I mean, stocks sell at silly prices from time to time. Most stocks at one time or another sell at very silly prices. And it doesn't take a high IQ to figure out that they're cheap, but it does take a temperament that's willing to step up and actually act. I tell people, if they're going in the investment business, if you got 160 IQ, sell 30 points to somebody else because you won't need it. I mean, I figured out very early, you don't have to be that smart in this business, which is fortunate, but you do have to have the right temperament. And you have to be able to ignore what other people are saying and simply look at the facts and decide, is this stock which is selling at X worth 2X? And occasionally you'll find things like that. And when you don't find them, you don't do anything. So that's my generalized stock tip, no names.
I was very lucky in life. If you tell me who your heroes are, I will make a pretty good prediction about what you're going to do. And I had the right heroes. I was very lucky in life, and my heroes never let me down, and started with my dad, and then I had others in business. And so I have had great teachers, some formal teachers, some that were just informal teachers by instinct or example. And if I hadn't had those, my life, I'm sure, would have been very different.
Can you help us understand how to cultivate that mindset of being comfortable saying no, being comfortable delegating? This is something that we found with our members is especially difficult for young women.
It's tough.
And we'd love to just hear your take on that, and maybe any advice you have to share about that.
I met Bill Gates in 1991, and when I did it, we had a great time talking. He thought he was going to hate it, and I wasn't too keen on it either. And about 10 hours later, we were still talking. But what really got him was when I pulled out this little date book. I'm probably the only guy in the United States with one of these still. You've got that.
Over there.
And I just flipped through it, and there's practically nothing in it. And Bill was really impressed by that. And you've got to keep control of your time, and you won't keep control of your time unless you can say no. You can't let other people set your agenda in life. And of course, I know I'm in a very fortunate position on that because I can. In another way, I'm not so fortunate because more people ask me for things, and they're usually friends, and they say, "Well, can't you just make this one talk or attend this one graduation or whatever it may be?" You just have to develop the ability to say no and do it a few times. If a woman can't say no, she's in trouble, right?
Right. And I mean, is this something that becomes easier over time, or how did you?
I don't think it gets a lot easier. No, it's there's a few things that really just are uncomfortable enough. The thing I dislike the most, the only thing I really dislike in connection with my job is if I have to fire somebody. I mean, that does not get easier for me as life has gone along. And saying no is not like firing people, but it's got a little bit of the same aspect to it. It's not easy to say no, particularly to a friend. But I will have every day 3 or 4 or 5 requests to do something, and I can't do them all. But I'm not promising it gets easier. but just keep doing it. Otherwise, other people will be running your life.
How would you advise people who aren't necessarily going into a career field in which you would make a large base salary, such as like medicine or something like that, maybe performing arts or music? How would you advise us to keep up financially with the rest of the world?
Well, it is true that a market system does not pay as well in some activities as might seem appropriate for the importance of those activities to society. Just take teaching, for example. I mean, teaching does not pay well. And what could be more important? I mean, you've got to be as interested in who the teachers of your children are as who your accountant is, or whatever, or who's winning the heavyweight title of the world, or that sort of thing. But it doesn't pay well, and it's a fundamental choice whether you're going to go into something. For many people, it'd be a fundamental choice whether you're going to go into something you love or something to try and make a lot of money. I think that generally it pays to go with what you love. I think that it's very hard to find people when they get to be my age who say that they've loved what they've done all their life and feel it was very worthwhile, but they're terribly sad they made that choice because they didn't make a lot of money. I don't think anybody's ever said that to me, that they wish they'd gone into something else where they were uncomfortable doing it or didn't enjoy it, didn't feel very productive, but made a lot of money. So I don't think you'll find that. So I would go to work. I would go to work in whatever turns you on. It may turn out that it'll be more profitable than you can think, but almost everybody here will make enough money, unless they get some terrible habits along the way, to do reasonably well. And doing reasonably well in this country really is pretty darn good. I mean, it's not necessary to have huge amounts of money in order to enjoy yourself. I enjoyed myself when I had my $10,000, and I live in the same house that I lived in when I had about that. I bought it 41 years ago. I liked the house then. I like the house now. I mean, if you think about it, if you have a reasonable job, you'll be eating at McDonald's and I'll be eating at McDonald's. So we're to push on food. I mean, in fact, I hope it's Dairy Queen, actually, and maybe and if you come to Dairy Queen, you'll see me. And you can order anything on the menu I can order, and we both can afford it. You'll wear the same clothes I wear. I'll pay more for my suits, but as soon as I put them on, they look cheap on me. So we'll look about the same. And, we'll both live in the same kind of houses. I live in that house from 41 years ago, and it's warm in winter, and it's cool in summer, and it's comfortable. And you'll live in a house that's similar. And what difference does it make if you have 50 more rooms or guest houses or all that? It'll probably just bring you problems. I mean, you have to worry about the greenskeeper or something when you get through. So I have been in the houses of people where the houses are worth probably 200 times what my house is worth, and I would not be any happier in those houses at all. In fact, I'd be less happy. I'd just have one more thing to worry about, and dozens of people around the place, and people quitting, and people stealing from you, and all kinds of things. To hell with it. We'll drive the same kind of car. In fact, you'll probably drive a better car. I drive a car that's about 8 years old. I don't know what it's worth now, but it gets me around fine. I mean, I'm perfectly happy. We'll watch the same television. We'll work on the same computer pretty much. The only difference will be how we travel long distances. I will fly in a plane that's more comfortable than flying Southwest Airlines or something, which I've got nothing against. But that's the one real big difference. And other than that, I do what I like every day. I hope you'll do what you like every day to do. And I work with nice people. I hope you work with nice people. And there's 24 hours in the day, and those are where the hours go. So great wealth is the tiniest bit different in a real sense than having just a decent income. And to trade a decent income and something you love doing and something where you feel worthwhile doing it for huge wealth where you trade off a lot of your principles would be a terrible mistake.
Over the years, I've developed a better understanding of human nature. I can learn a lot about investments out of a book, but I don't think you can learn as much about human beings you really need some experiences, and I'm wiser in that respect than I was 40 or 50 years ago, even though I can't rattle off numbers the same way I used to be able to. If you look around the world at the people that succeed and the people that other people want to work with, the natural leaders, it isn't because they have the highest IQ or they can kick a football the furthest or anything like that. They're people that you want to work with. I mean, I've got a wonderful friend named Tom Murphy. I know I would do anything for him. You know, he's never going to ask me to do it, but I mean, I want to. But I want to do it. I mean, I want to do it. I mean, he's done so many things for me, and you know, he doesn't have to pay me to do it or anything of the sort. That's what you want to. You want to look for that, and you want to be that. There's a company here in Washington called Geico, you know, and I first got exposed to that in 1950. I was 20 years. I was 19 years. Well, it was 51. I'm sorry. I was 20 years old, and I came down here, and I came down on a Saturday because I'd learned that my professor who I worshipped at Columbia named Ben Graham was the chairman. I got down here and the door was locked. When I went to the building, because it was Saturday, and I pounded on the door, and some janitor let me in, and a marvelous fellow named Lorimer Davidson spent 4 hours with me teaching me all about insurance, and he helped me so much in life. But you're going to get help by some wonderful people in life. It's a great thing to remember later on when you get to be my age, that you know, all the help you've received from different people, because nobody does it alone. Obama got in trouble when he said that in the campaign, that you know, nobody does it by themselves. Nobody does do it by themselves. We all sit in the shade of trees that were planted by others. So it's obligatory, I think, to plant a few trees ourselves if we've had good luck. It's been a great ride, but it's not over.
What are the best ways for youth to get started now in securing their financial future?
For what, to secure their financial future?
For youth.
Youth? Oh, well, it's not very complicated. It goes back to getting full use out of your own talents first. I mean, the difference between whether you're going to be earning X or 2X or 3X a year 20 years from now is going to be a function of how well, not how much talent you have, but how well you use the talents you already have. And so that is your best financial future is your own ability and your a capacity to use those abilities to their potential, and that can't be taken away from you. They can't even tax it. I mean, you know, most things, if you own a piece of real estate, if they double the taxes, they double the taxes, and that changes your ownership in the property, because now, in effect, the taxing authorities own more of it because they've got a greater command on the revenue stream. The same thing about almost any asset you have, but they don't tax what's in your head, and they don't tax your ability to start performing when you get to work in the morning and finish in the evening to your potential. One of the things that amazes me is how people who really do perform well just sort of jump out at you once you're running a business. When I got out of school, I thought, you know, everybody would behave that way, but they don't. Most people sort of go through life in a sleepwalk, and if you don't, you will stand out. So the biggest thing for your financial future is yourself.
Factors have been met. And
Some businesses are just tough. I mean, a significant percentage, you know, of the restaurants that open up this year are going to fail. I mean, there are a lot of tough businesses. I've always said, if you want to be regarded as a great business person, find a great business. And there's a huge difference. I mean, it does make a difference. I use this analogy when I got out of Columbia. One of my best friends was a terrific talent, and he went to work in the steel business, and he did okay, but it was the wrong business to be in. It's very important to get on the right train. Mm-hmm. I mean, you want to get on a train that's going to go 90 miles an hour, right, and not one that's going to go 30 miles an hour, and you're going to try to figure out how to push it along a little faster. Right. So it really does make a huge difference. And there are some businesses that are inherently, there's far more opportunity in than others. So you want to give a lot of thought to what train you're getting on. And I owned a half interest when I was, 21 or 22 in a service station, a Sinclair service station with a pal of mine in the National Guard. It was a lousy business. You know, we had a guy right next to us, and he kept selling more gallons of gas than we did. He would cut our prices and everything. I mean, I don't care if, you know, if you're a combination of Steve Jobs and Larry Ellison and everyone else. You're not going to succeed if you got a guy selling gas below cost next to you. So, you know, it's important to get on the right train.
Here we are.
Hello.
Ready to go.
Ready to work.
We got the wrong name tags on.
This is just a sample of our competence. If you think this is bad, wait till we really get into action.
Yeah, just fill it up to that.
Whoa,
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Well, keep it going. You got to get 2 balls on there.
But I'll see if I can do better.
Oh my God.
See, I'm very generous.
They're going to order from you from now on, not from me. Who had the bad luck to draw me? If you want anything later on, it's on me.
The cone is okay.
You guys want to learn how to help customers?
You bet.
I would love a vanilla cone.
A vanilla cone. Is that all you want today?
That'll do it.
That'll be.
Let's upsell her.
You didn't do anything wrong. It's just taking some time. So if that barks at us a little
I'm
bit,
a
don't
slow
worry.
customer. It's okay.
Thank you. Have you been to Dairy
And
Queen before?
do you want a dip or not dip?
Can I have a triple chocolate brownie?
That is really one of our best items.
In fact, if you don't eat it, we will.
All right, what else?
I'm gonna keep it simple and go banana split, please.
Okay, that's
A double banana split?
Yes, sir.
You're a real man.
all right. What would you like?
I want a Oreo Blizzard small.
Oh, that's one of our most popular. What else can we do?
I want a medium Reese's Blizzard.
Okay.
That's very popular.
Is it?
Absolutely.
I like that peanut butter.
Extra peanut butter for him.